His expenses were fully within the rules of the program, but do you feel comfortable, or I guess, are you okay with, do you feel he followed the spirit of the program with those expenses?
I think any questions about the program need to be addressed to DND and to the minister specifically. But the idea that this government will once again decide to attack veterans and a retirement benefit that they get after 20 years of service is really an indication that for this government it's all about partisan attacks. It's all about being on their side or being the enemy. And I am proud to have someone as extraordinary as Andrew Leslie, who has served his country for many, many years, continue to serve his country through an interest in politics.
Do you think that amount of money, though, are you okay with? I mean, I understand it if you move to a different town, but this is within the same neighborhood.
Again, the end of service benefits have been long established by the Department of National Defence, and I don't think that on the basis of partisan attacks against one veteran we should be really rethinking the entire program. I mean, that's to be done in calm reflection and not out of the spirit of partisan attacks. Our veterans, people who've served our country, not just Andrew Leslie, deserve better than this from this government.
What do you think about the way the information was sent out? It was obviously, you know, it was actually part of a larger ATIP that had all the generals named, but just Mr. Leslie's name was leaked out. Do you think that, I mean, you've called it a partisan attack. What do you think about the way in which the story played out?
It's quite clear that this government is ready to be absolutely vicious and ruthless with anyone, even a Canadian hero, that dares disagree with their ideology and their approach. That's not what makes Canada great, and I think they've made a big mistake in being very much offside with how Canadians feel about our veterans.
Do you think he should have...
The position is no tolls.
Can you clarify whether you think he should pay back those moving expenses?
Are they moving expenses that he claimed illegally or fraudulently or irresponsibly?
No, but I mean...
Then the question doesn't even ask itself. It's a pure partisan attack against someone who has served his country for years, for decades, in some of the most dangerous places in the world, that because he dared come out and suggest that he's a liberal, this government is going to attack a veteran, attack an honored and decorated defender of our country. For me, it's absolutely irresponsible that this government choose to do that, and it demonstrates the extent to which this government focuses on one thing and one thing only, the interests of the Conservative Party of Canada and not the well-being of veterans or the well-being of Canadians. This is yet another example of how out of touch, tired, and irresponsible this government is.
What about the program as a whole, though, to stop such, I mean, one would argue extravagant moving expenses? I mean, $72,000 to move within a city. Do you think the program should be modified at all so that things like this don't happen moving forward? Do
you know what proportion of those $72,000 were in moving expenses and what proportion were real estate fees and commissions?
About $50,000, $60,000 for real estate fees and the rest. But
okay, because I don't even know that. I don't even know that. We're having this discussion in the total absence of any solid facts. All we're going on right now is attacks by the Conservative government against an honored and decorated veteran. For me, the fact that we're even engaging in this is an illustration of why Canadians are so disgusted and cynical about our politics these days. We have someone who has stepped up to serve his country, who wants to continue to serve his country, and this is the way our government treats him after having sent him into harm's way. For me, it demonstrates the entire lack of respect and lack of compassion and fair play that this Harper government has become known for.